Welcome to the D Nation podcast. It's your girl Deanna Diaz, entrepreneur, coach, and consultant. You are here to get some business information and entertainment, so stay tuned so I can give you what you came for. So if you're new here, I'm going to just give you a rundown on how I do things. So on the podcast, I go with information, then I educate you, and then I entertain you. And this is all focused around business and entrepreneurship, all right? So sit back, relax, and grab some snacks. And let's get into it. So welcome to another episode. It's about 10:22 at night right now, and this is the only time that I have time to do this because I done put my daughter to bed and I had to prepare some things for our lives tomorrow. But you're here and we're going to go ahead and go right into it. You know, I already got 3 topics for you. So let's go ahead and get started. Look out, future millionaires and billionaires, because let me tell you, there could be what is called the Ultra Millionaire Tax Act. It was proposed by a group of Senate and House Democrats and independent Senator Bernie Sanders on Monday. All right. The tax will be a 2% annual levy on wealth over $50 million and 3% on wealth over $1 billion. Now, this Ultra Millionaire Tax Act would affect the likes of Jeff Bezos, Elon Musk, and Bill Gates. If this act goes through, Jeff Bezos will owe $5.7 billion in taxes for 2020. Elon Musk will owe $4.6 billion and will still have a fortune over $148 billion at the end of the year. Ain't that something? Money, 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 money. And Bill Gates would have to pay $3.6 billion for 2020. Mark Zuckerberg would have to pay $3 billion. Now, Senator Warren and Sanders and others unveil their proposed wealth tax, saying it will raise trillions in much-needed revenue and help reduce a wealth divide that has only grown wider during the pandemic. Now, Warren did say that the tax will only affect the wealthiest 100,000 American families, or the top 0.05%. And it will raise about $3 trillion over 10 years. So you're just going to have a bunch of people who made their money pay back America's debt. That's just my take on it. They want to accelerate the wealth gap and things like that there. So that's what they're saying is their main focus. But we're going to see in the coming years if this tax is going to go through and how people are going to start getting out of this wealth tax. So I'm going to go ahead and play the interview that Senator Elizabeth Warren did with Squawk Newsmaker. Check this out, and I'll be back with the rest of this topic.
So I just want to start by saying if Janet Yellen is all on board except for implementation, we're in really good shape on this, because the implementation part is really a lot easier than it looks. Remember the way that the wealth tax is built. It says if your fortune is below $50 million, nothing. We're not talking to you. If it's above $50 million, your 50 millionth and first dollar, you got to pitch in 2 cents, 2 cents for every dollar above that. You hit $1 billion in assets, you got to pitch in a few pennies more. The nice thing about the way it's set up is we learned from some of the mistakes they made in Europe. So this version of the wealth tax says it covers all of your property. Doesn't matter whether it's held in stock or in real estate or in racehorses, everything is covered. So there's no point in moving property around. Also, wherever you hold it, it is covered, whether you hold it here in the U.S., whether you hold it in the Cayman Islands. And remember, we are already valuing property. We do it at death. We value all real estate every year for real estate taxes, and valuing stock is not very hard. So I think we've kind of got the implementation part of this locked down.
So when Senator Warren was talking about how it failed in Europe, basically a lot of European countries, only 4 European countries today still have their wealth tax, but most of the countries that Europe had this wealth tax on, it failed because either it was costing them too much to take in other people's taxes for this wealth. It wasn't equally spread out across assets, meaning a lot of wealthy people got out of it by having their assets in different countries outside of Europe or in another European country that didn't have this tax on it. So they was getting out of it, basically. And then you had people moving out of those countries that were taxed, so they wouldn't have to worry about paying taxes for that country for that year, and then they would move. Thank you so much for listening up to this point. And if you have been enjoying yourself, I invite you to come listen to the rest of the podcast on deannadiaz.com. Click the link that says podcast, and you'll be able to listen to the rest of this podcast or wherever you listen to your podcast at. Make sure you subscribe, like, and comment your thoughts so far, and make sure you check out the rest of my videos. Thank you so much, and you can connect with me using all the information down in the description bar below. You guys stay blessed.